and welcome back to At Your Service, where we are truly at your service. I am Emerson Elledge.
I'm Casey Alexander.
I'm Mia Noel.
And I'm Addison Lecoq.
And now there's 4 of us.
Yeah, there are 4 of us. So today we are discussing self-care, because in this line of work that we do, which is, service work, it is very easy to just get very down on your self-image and like your progress, and it's hard to celebrate your accomplishments, and as well as taking time for yourself to recharge when you need it.
Exactly. So the first segment, what is self-care? The World Health Organization defines self-care as the abilities individuals that's how you say that thing. All right. The World Health Organization defines self-care as the abilities of individuals, families, and communities to promote health, prevent disease, maintain health, and to cope with illnesses and disabilities. It's simply
How did you get third?
I can talk if I memorize. This is a cold read. I'm not in broadcasting.
You can just switch it every paragraph break. You can switch to a different person.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, should I just go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Self-care is simply being mindful of your own needs, including physical needs and social emotional needs. Stress, academic pressure, and social obligations can be damaging, but self-care helps individuals cope with the different stresses of life.
Yeah, so what are some examples of self-care? So self-care is generally anything that helps you be mindful of your own needs. Eating a healthy meal, exercising, taking a shower, drinking water, and maintaining healthy relationships are all examples of self-care.
Exactly.
So I think maybe we can take this to ask the people in this room, how has self-care impacted our lives?
Emerson, how has self-care impacted your life?
Okay. So, as someone who suffers from poor mental health and is diagnosed with mental illnesses, plural, fun fact.
Sorry. I had to do it. That was important to me.
We've talked about this.
Yeah, I know.
You've talked about how frustrating it is to talk to me because you can't make fun of me.
Now I can, because I have this. I don't make fun of you. This does. Somehow the button got pressed.
So Emerson, how does self-care impact your life?
I feel attacked.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna.
I feel mocked. I feel like a lion in the zoo.
You're Alex the Lion?
I am.
From Madagascar?
The one and only. Anyway, so self-care is very important for me to have because I am bad at saying no to people, and I am... So hypothetically, if I were to be in a certain class/club, and then hypothetically, if I were to be asked to assist with the sister organization of that class/club, and I said yes, and then I came in 2 of my 4 days off for our long weekend, as well as staying late, like 5 nights in a row until like 9 o'clock, that is not very good for my mental health. So for me, it's very important to practice self-care because it's hard enough existing in my brain as is. So might as well try to counteract that just a bit. So I'm...
And I totally relate to you on the terms of spreading yourself too
Yeah.
thin, especially as a freshman and someone who is new to high school and the way that classes run in high school.
Mhm.
It can be really easy to overwork
Yeah.
yourself and start spending too much time on class and too much time working with clubs rather than taking time to enjoy your life outside of school.
Yeah, I think a lot of students that are
Overachievers?
interested in school tend to do this. Generally speaking, a lot of people who want to do well in school, I think, tend to try and spread themselves too thin. And so I think that also, everyone has it different, and everyone's in different situations.
Everyone has different limitations.
Yes, everyone has different limitations, and so.
Yeah, so could you guys, as we know, self-care can be many different things. So would you say that this is an example of setting boundaries for self-care? Would you say something like that?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's super important for self-care, right? Is setting boundaries, knowing your absolute limits. This semester, I took on a bunch of new stuff for mass media, and I knew that I was taking on a lot, but I also knew that I had enough time to take on just that amount. And so now if anybody asks me hey, can you edit this, or can you throw this together, or can you plan this out for me, I have to say no, because I know my boundaries, fortunately. And so I set that boundary very clearly that I can do all of this, but no more.
True.
For me, the way that I started practicing self-care more and like making it like more of a conscious choice was when everyone was like setting their New Year's resolutions. I made my resolution to have a new resolution each week. So that's like, so there's this book called Atomic Habits, which is like if you gradually add habits or like increase like the habits into your everyday life, then like they will become regular and like a ritual to you, rather than like trying to like do everything at once, like trying to like, you know, go on like a smoothie fast as well as like running 10 miles a day and like getting 10 hours of sleep like some people might resolve to like in New Year's. So I wanted to sort of like add these habits gradually, and one of the ones I made myself do was starting to do like self-care Sundays, which I kind of like just recharge and I get myself all prepped for the next week. So I paint my nails, I like wash my hair, I do skincare, I just watch a movie and I just relax, and I force myself to relax, and I allot myself that time.
And yeah,
That's actually really impressive.
that is really good. And for me, this is actually tied to resolutions, which is really
Oh,
nice.
really?
So
yeah.
keep that thought. What's this week's resolution?
To set boundaries.
Good.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Because a wonderful tool that I let myself use and like that my parents allow me to use is I allow myself to take mental health days when I need to. Like that's a really good way of like me like forcing myself to like do self-care in a way. It's like, okay, so something isn't working right now. Let's take this day, let's reflect, let's recharge, and let's think how we can like fix it and like figure out like what we need to solve.
Yeah,
So
no,
like I need to.
That's really inspiring, by the way. I hope you know. And actually, one of my resolutions I mentioned earlier, over the course of the year, was actually something similar to that. I had to learn to forgive myself if I made a mistake, because I love that.
That's such a good resolution, though.
Good resolution.
That's such a good especially for freshman year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I know, and especially throughout all of junior high, I was such an overachiever and a teacher's pet. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It was bad.
I think we all relate to that a bit.
So,
Yeah.
and I had this issue where even if I made a small mistake, such as stuttering during a speech or saying something that came off a little standoffish, I would not let myself forget it, which is really not good for mental health. And so I decided my form of self-care would be forgiving myself for making small mistakes, which I'm human, everyone does.
I think also for me, part of my self-care is also trying to say how I feel instead of bottling it up inside, like, and as John Mulaney had said, like one day I will
put
keep
all
my emotions in here, and one day I will die. And trying to like understand that like it's okay for me to have my own emotions and not think about what other people want me to think.
With all that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Casey Alexander,
I'm Mia Noel.
I'm Madison Lecoq.
And I'm Emerson Elledge.
and we have been at your service.
How much did the man sell his dead batteries for?
How much?
Nothing. They were free of charge.
That was a good one.